There we go. Now, this should be okay. I'm going to keep an eye on this. Press any button indeed. I've not balanced this at all. I probably should. I did some recording tests, but not a whole lot. I pressed a button. I press any button. Okay. I should probably delete some of these characters. There's the Peruser. Bee's attack was my I'll get rid of Rodeo. Yeah, tell me how the stream looks. I did some stream tests, so everything should be cool. But because of that, I am absolutely certain something's going to go wrong. So, this is Dark Souls 3. Cass just finished streaming this. That was a very good playthrough. And I felt like at some point, Kebanom with Dictron and Slio9 did a playthrough of Bloodborne trying to explain the plot of that game. Hello, Zambabase. And I guess I could try to do that with this. This game has a very cohesive theme throughout the whole game of repeated cycles and things becoming overgrown from repeatedly happening over and over again. Maybe the opening cutscene will explain some things.
Yes, indeed. It is called Lothric, where the transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge. In venturing north, the pilgrims discover the truth of the old words. The fire fades, and the lords go without thrones. When the link of fire is threatened, the bell tolls, unearthing the old lords of Cinder from their graves. Aldrich, Saint of the Deep, Farron's Undead Legion, the Abyss Watchers. And the reclusive lord of the profaned capital. Yon the Giant. Only in truth, the lords will abandon their thrones. And the unkindled will rise. Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be cinder. And so it is that ash seeketh embers.
Okay, that was a cutscene. That cutscene is the beginning of the game. And now we have here our character creator. If I had Night Boy here. Okay, so that cutscene had a lot of stuff in it. Basically, there is a fire to be linked. You know, the old fire link thing from other Soul game, from Dark Souls. And there's a big bell that rings whenever the fire needs to be linked again. And people who had linked the fire before, the Lords of Cinder, get up out of their graves to go help do it again. That's how the ritual is done nowadays. We got to see the big bad guys we have to beat in order to win video game. You know, it shows you these people you have to go beat up. You have to go beat up Aldrich. You have to go beat up the Fist Watchers. You gotta go beat up Yorm. The only thing that the cutscene that's important, I think, that the cutscene does not explain, and I really think the game doesn't explain, is what the hell an unkindled ash is. Which I don't like going to outside material to explain the lore of video games, but apparently the director of the game, Mr. Miyazaki, said that unkindled ash are undead that attempt to link the fire and fucked up and got destroyed, burnt to ash. And that's what an unkindled ash is, apparently. And that's what we are. So we're already dead. But to get out of lore, we have to pick a class. There's a fair amount of classes. I'm going to rule out a couple different options we have. One is Pyromancer. I have just played the game with a Pyromancer build. It's pretty fun. Pyromancy is pretty dang powerful. You have a bit of a struggle finding a powerful using weapon for the first part of the game, but your Pyroflame is pretty useful. I don't want to do that again. And I've also just recently done a quality type build where I used Longsword as my best weapon. So I don't know what else I want to play as this time around. There's Strength with Strength Boy here. There's Dextra with the Mercenary. There's also Dextra with Thief. There's Herald. Hi, Herald! Who is sort of like a Faith starting, but not the Faith starting, because the Faith starting thing is Cleric. Heavy Magic Investment. So someone is suggesting Sorcerer. Okay, two people want me to play as Herald. People like Herald. Well, Herald's alright. We got a nice spear. So 3 calls for Herald, 1 for Sorcerer. Although, one person said magic, which Herald can also do magic. Starts with a small miracle. Yeah, a former Herald. This class is called Herald because the former Herald died. This guy got burned up by ashes. And you can pick a burial gift. This is much less important than in Dark Souls 1. It's about as important as Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 had a pretty clear choice. It had 2 pretty clear choices for best starting gift to pick. But it wasn't overwhelmingly so. Like, you picked the Petrified Something if you wanted to have fun, and you picked the Undead, the Bonfire Ascetic if you wanted to be powerful. Whereas in Dark Souls, it was just always the, you know, you picked the master key. There's a couple different choices here. We have Life Ring, which is a very small HP boost. This is 5%, I think, maybe even 2%. Divine Blessing is a elixir. It will heal your entire health and restore any critical statuses you have. It's one use. Hidden Blessing is an ether. It will restore all of your flower points, and that's all it does. There's flower points in this game. We'll get to that later. Black Fire Bomb is just a bomb. This is not useful at all. I don't know how many you get when you pick Black Fire Bomb, but it's an uncouth gift for the departed. Fire Gem is actually a reasonable choice to pick if you have like a weapon that you want to make fire with Andre. He can do that, I think, right away. Or do you need Farron Coal to do that? But Fire Gem is alright. Sovereignless Soul is, I think, 2,000 souls. Yeah, that's an important thing. Life Ring actually does what it says it does. In Dark Souls 1, famously claims to give you HP regeneration when it did not. Rested Gold Coins, pretty funky. Cracked Red Eye Orb is fun. And then we have Young White Branch, which is secretly one of the more useful ones to pick, but I'm not going to pick it. Because I want to show off, it'll keep me from showing off some lore if I do it. So I have to choose which one I want. When I don't want to pick Young White Branch, I often end up picking Sovereignless Soul. But then I never need it. I could also just pick none. No sign of a burial gift or otherwise. What do you guys think? Since I'm by committee doing this. While I wait for, ooh, Hidden Blessing trades for something good. That I can show off right away. So now we have to make our person. I forget what kind of faces do I have. I mostly have women with reddish colored hair. And some very, very old looking grandpas. Saved to my favorites. I really liked this guy. I gave him a black eye. And there's this guy who looks like Drill on accident. So we have to decide what is this grandpa. So is Harold a man or a woman? Can you make Maggie Lou? I might be able to, not the dress. Okay, let's look at our face detail. We'll start with the hair. What is Maggie Lou's hair like again? Let's look at our choices. Actually, reset to default. Let's look at our hair since I'm looking at Maggie Lou. That's Maggie Lou's hair, right? She has this kind of hair. One thing this game does is it does not restrict you from picking any specific sort of thing depending on your gender. Like, you can be a lady and have very much beard. Let's look for Maggie Lou. What does Maggie Lou's hair even look like? What's the most anime hair here? I guess this might be the most anime hair. Yeah, Twin Tails. Let's look up Maggie Lou. This is a character from Tales of Berseria. She just seems to have just normal long hair. that, like, has a weird hook. I think this may be a false, you know, a goal. This is that we're trying to catch a car here that we cannot catch. We have some clouds. We have some Noctis hair. Well, let's... I still have the bald hair. Let's do this old gag, which is... here's a good berries and cream hair. Let's just do this for now. And do this for a while. We look like a Fallout New Vegas NPC. You can't mash as fast in this one. Yeah. Yeah. Now that is... that's, this is a... Oh my god, we look like the baby from Eraserhead. Saving this one. I finally know how David Lynch did it. He just had a very advanced copy of of Dark Souls. But nah. Let's okay. Is Harold a lady or a man? We never got I got one person said Magilou, but we don't think we can do that, and we also have just Harold. Well, my last character was a grandpa. And I think my character before that was also a grandpa. So I don't want to be a grandpa. Velvet. Okay, I'll look for Velvet. Velvet just has, like, normal long hair. With, like, hard bangs. It's not hard bangs, though. I think this is as close to maybe Velvet. We have some kind of hair like this, maybe. Bristled hair. Could just have a bob. You have not Prompto hair. Could just be Noctis. Is he Zero Mission Samus? I mean, like this one? Kinda. This is definitely a Dark Souls stream, yeah, where I came here to explain lore, and it's been 20 minutes and we were just, we're looking at this. You know what? Let's go with this hair. And we're just going to make her angry. You can press shoulder buttons to do things faster. More forehead or less forehead? More forehead is angrier. No, okay. Brow ridge, inner brow ridge, low. Yes. Outer brow ridge, high. That's kind of elfy. Yeah, don't want to do that. Now we're getting into Oblivion character. Ah, there we go. Okay, she's just mad. This is probably good enough. Could spend a lot of time doing this, but no, she's just angry. And she's kind of got, like, her nose just kind of sticks out too far. I can do that. Where was I just at? Face shape, nose ridge. There we go. That's good enough. And the other thing is, we choose a voice. Get a grandma voice. The voice is only really important for when we die. Okay. You got an angry lady. And people wanted to name her Harold. It's finalist creation and get into video game. So I can see how the game runs. I did some stream tests, but gotta wait for the actual stream for it to go all tits up. The bell rings, so we get out of our casket. Yes, indeed. So let's look at our self as a herald. We have a spear. We have a talisman. Let us cast miracles. Kite shield is actually a pretty good shield. Unless you're knight or herald, you don't really have a good shield for a while. And then the herald set is alright. We start with the hitting blessing. I'm going to take that off of my quick bar. No rings. Herald armor is alright. We get a nice cape. You got an open-faced helmet, so that with the visor up, so that you can just see how mad we are. And there's messages. Right bumper to normal attack. Right trigger to strong attack. And then there's this guy. Since we have a spear, we can poke behind our shield. Close the visor. These are just controls. I know well enough about the controls not to need them. Some treasure over here. It's a worthless souls. So, there's all these caskets around. We've just woken up because the Bell of Awakening, which actually was in Dark Souls 1, I think. Only there was 2. I guess there's only 1 left. We got all these funky looking trees. Big graveyard. All these graves. Man, look at that tree. That tree has seen some shit. You there. Yes, they can drop Fading Souls. This is going to give us an Ashen Estus Flask. This game brought back the Demon Souls mana system, but gave everybody a way to use it. Like this. That used some of my flower points. It says FP, which I think stands for focus points. No, I got hit. But we always call it. Oh, turn back. The game slows you down in order for you to see this. I like that. Ashen Estus Flask restore your flower points. They're actually pretty useful. Ooh, what's this? I want to stab it in the ass. I like. No, don't hurt me. No. Don't shake the baby. Come here. Can I get it to stun? Yeah, I can. Watch this. God damn it, I messed it up. Oh well. If you put them into the stun animation like that, you hear the same noise that happens when you when you parry something. And you can get a riposte off. It's very Bloodborne. This game feels very Bloodborne. I'm on the wrong side of it to get it this time. And by the time I get the next one, he'll probably be dead. Got me. Yeah, there's the crystal geckos that explode in Dark Souls 2, the betrayal goblins. Those are really cute. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Nah. You just stab it in the head when you can do it like that. There's a fair amount of bosses you can do that too. And he's dead. Drops a Titanite scale. Some souls. So there's a hard challenge you can take if you feel like you've got the gumption. Let us use our Heal Aid. Heal Aid is the worst healing spell in the game, maybe. Hard to say. Clerics start with heal. But it gives us something to use our flower points for, which everybody has. But we have a good use for. Poke. More stuff. The kick. Kick is important. Ah, yes. Parry and riposte. This game, parrying is much different than other games, and by that I mean, this is the game where parrying feels the most balanced. It's rather difficult to parry things with a medium shield, but parrying with a small shield feels much, much better. Not just a parrying shield, but a small shield. So, it's actually kind of balanced, whereas parrying in Dark Souls 1 was absolutely free. Bonfire. And we get a emoticon to use. Can't warp, can't level up yet. That's a bonfire. Let's find some more items. Fight some more people. You there. I want to parry you. Come here, you. I want to parry you. Don't be mean. I want to parry you. There we go. Yeah, speaking of barehanded parrying, in this game, you can't. When you're barehanded, you do your, if you press the parry button, you do your weapon skill. Weapon skills can be used if your left-hand item has the weapon skill ability, which the barehanded one does. The skill ability of the shield is actually parry. So that's one thing. Even our little talisman here has a weapon skill. You can use it without any spells equipped. I think it temporarily increased poise after casting Miracle. I think it casts your Miracle and gives you that little glow. What are we doing? We're doing lore. Doing lore. B-ball dashing jump. There's some way to make it click stick, but I hate click stick. Gotta have that B button. Titanite shard. Plunging attack. This game, believe it or not, actually... I always think there's a guy there. This game, believe it or not, actually has poison in it. The game is just very greedy about when it decides to let you use your poise. It took me about a year to come to terms with that. But I finally have. There's a lot of guys here. If these guys could drop their longsword, that'd be pretty cool. I don't mind longsword at all. Spear is an interesting weapon, though. Come here, you. See, not getting any poise at all right now, because, poise only works when you're in certain weapon animation frames, and different weapons benefit from poise a different amount. I would believe that the spear probably gets very little benefit of our poise whatsoever. I think I think stick click might make more sense, but I'm just so ingrained to use the button tap that I wouldn't even, The lore of why poise is fake? Well, here's the lore of why poise is fake. Poise in Dark Souls 1 was the second or third most busted thing in the entire game. And they decided they didn't want it to be busted anymore. Well, we are in the beginning area. This boss here is going to make you consider whether or not this game is forgiving to new players. I'm gonna show off, but this guy is cool. This is the best starting boss fight in the Souls game. Except maybe Bloodborne, because you can fight Padre in Bloodborne. I'm gonna try to do something stupid. Come here, you. That was stupid. There we go. You can parry this guy. It's hard with a medium shield. Up, here we go. He's got all Gushi. Shit. It's Gushi boy. Up, I broke his poise. Oh crap. Oh no 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 no. I should just be blocking. You can block. Gushi main. Don't be mean to me. There we go. And zoop. Udex Gundyr is really freaking cool. Makes a very strong first impression. Ooh, and here we go. More lore. Ember restored. When you are in Embered mode, you can do online activities such as summoning. It also gives you about 15 or 20% extra health, I think, maybe more. So it is a powered up mode. In the beta of the game, being Ember was called Lord of Cinder mode, which kind of makes a little bit of sense, even though it's not good on the mouth. Doesn't sound right. 30, 40. We're just going to say a bunch of numbers. So yeah, being Embered is definitely a benefit to the game, whereas in other games there wasn't really a benefit to being human. Not being hollowed out in Dark Souls 2 had a benefit, I guess, but basically, when you're Embered, you are able to take on the mantle of an actual Lord of Cinder. That's the sort of borrowing power. We got a bonfire here. We pulled the coiled sword out of Udex Gundyr there. Item percentage? I don't know what you mean by item percentage, though. Mm. And I think this item is a joke. It's a broken straight sword. Maybe it's just a joke to me personally. You actually could start with this weapon in Dark Souls 2. A weapon with no exceptional qualities. Only a Mad Hollow would choose to fight with this. A Mad Hollow indeed. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Do, 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 do. Okay. Let's do some exploring in this graveyard we're in. Got some more boys to stab. I'm gonna try to parry you. How about this? I don't parry you instead. Getting one shot in this game. Bloodborne is also very much a fan of the one shot. But yeah, your health total matters in this game. The game really wants you to be able to dodge. Over here, we have this guy. This guy is no danger at all. He's just enjoying the view. Just enjoying the mountaintops, and I think that's Lothric Castle. Yep, just enjoying the view. I tried to do the kick input there, but I think the backstab opportunity overrode it. So, first thing we're going to do is go here. There's some more stuff out here, but it's dangerous. It's Firelink Shrine. It's the Maiden in Black, only less interesting. It's the same voice actress as Maiden in... Is it the same voice actress? No. Voice actress of Maiden in Black was the doll in Bloodborne. I don't hate this one, though. She's alright. The Firekeeper.
Welcome to the bonfire, unkindled one. I'm a firekeeper. I tend to the flame and tend to thee.
The Lord Blades VA. Makes sense.
The lords have left their thrones and must be delivered to them.
Mm-hmm.
To this end, I am at thy side. Ashen One, to be unkindled is to be a vessel for souls. Sovereignless souls will become thy strength. I will show thee how.
Enchante.
Bring me souls plucked from their vessels. Ashen One, to be unkindled
Take a drink.
is to be a vessel for souls.
Yeah, I know that. There we go.
Farewell, Ashen One, may the flame. Ashen One, produce the coiled sword at the bonfire. The mark of ash will guide thee to the land of the lords. To Lothric, where the homes of the lords converge.
Okay.
Farewell, Ashen.
So we got that coiled sword. Let's do some item descriptions. Oh boy. Cannot be equipped as a weapon. Well, we'll learn more about that very later. Trust into the shrine bonfire. The sword is only bequeathed to the chosen ash as judged by the Eudex. I have no idea what... Let's find out if that's a real word. I want to find out. It means judge or umpire or juror. It might be Latin. Yep, it's Latin. Okay, so judged by the judge. Okay. Only the judge had this stabbed through the heart, but he's okay. He picked up this from that guy we killed. Huh, hello, gens. Titanite altered by a soul. Reinforces soul transposition. Transposing kill. And he's called a scabbard for the sword, yeah. In some rare cases, crystal lizards devour souls, growing monstrous proportions and leaving these great scales. Fragments of the legendary slabs. Okay. We have our Estus Flask. No journey of an undead has ever been traced, and no journey of import has ever been made without an Estus Flask. But this time we've got Ashen Estus Flask. Fill up with Estus at bonfires and restore FP. Quite befitting of an unkindled, and Ashen Estus turns the bonfire's heat cold. Okay, we got one of these too. There's a grave in Lothric that sees no visitors. A dark place where rootless warriors rest. The Queen of Lothric alone cared to wish these poor soldiers good fortune. Okay. There's a grave in Lothric that sees no visitors. I wonder if we can find that grave. I never thought about that before. The rest of this is fairly standard. It's a bomb. Bone fragment. Bonfire. The Dark Sign. Return carriers of the Dark Sign are reborn after death. Fading Soul. Black Separation Crystal. A Charm of Farewell. And the Way of the Wet Circle. Way of the Wet. Yeah, the Way of the Wet Circlet. I've never had to use this. So we've read our item lore. Oh, there's some more lore. So hold on, we got more lore. Signature of the Heralds of the Way of the White. That's all we get from here. Steel helms worn by the Heralds of the Way of the White who deliver commandments of duty. That's what the rest of these say. What does Kite Shield say? This is the Drangleic Shield from Dark Souls 2. An orthodox metal shield. Talisman for casting miracles of the gods. The Way of the White. I think the Way of the White gets talked about being discredited in this game. Which might be some kind of joke. Because the Way of the White did absolutely nothing in Dark Souls 1, and people forever thought it did something. But really all it did was make attunement circles. And it tells you about what you need to cast miracles. Okay, let's do this. This looks a little bit like Linking the Flame. Anyways, now that we have stuck ourselves at a bonfire, let's go do some stuff. Well, over here, we have Undead Warrior.
Ah, another one roused from the sleep of death. Well, you're not alone. We unkindled are worthless. Can't even die right. Gives me conniptions. And they'd have us seek the Lords of Cinder and return them to their moulding thrones. But we're talking true legends with the metal to link the fire. We're not fit to lick their boots.
He gives us a good emote.
Don't you think?
Yeah, this guy's been in every game. I forget what he was called in Demon Souls. And I guess he's not in Bloodborne, because that game is its own business, but Crestfallen Warrior, he had a name in Dark Souls 2, but now his name is Hawkwood.
What a sick joke. Asking us to seek the Lords of Cinder and return them to their moulding thrones. We're talking true legend.
Yeah, okay. So Hawkwood has a lot more plot to him than in other games. He's an interesting guy. Basically, the other Crestfallen warriors haven't really had a reason to be crestfallen other than that they were just overwhelmed. I think this guy has actual reasons. Salden, that was his name. So hello, Geets. Geets, I have an important question. Are you Grandpa? I got accused of being Grandpa, but I was not.
A pleasure to make thine acquaintance, Ashen One. I am but a humble handmaid of the shrine. Weapons, armor, trinkets, and spells. I've lots of little things to ease the burden of a weary traveler. And yes, I'm undead too, but not so charitable as to give my goods away. Ashen One, fetch souls and bring them to me.
Yes, I
As is thy wont? No?
want. Yes, Arby's Watcher totally outclassed Grandpa, who is not me. Totally outclassed the Peruser. But the question is, did Arby's Watcher outclass Simon Belmont? Anyways, this is the Shrine Handmaiden. She looks suspiciously like the grandmas from the beginning of Dark Souls 2. She is also blind. You can barely make it out, but she has eye bandages on. I'm going to buy some stuff from her. Let's buy one of these. We could buy 699 of those. Very nice. I'm going to buy this. I will need a torch at some point. Don't think I need the dried finger yet. Buy another one of these. I think that's all I have right now.
Ashen One, if my wares are not to thy satisfaction, bring me umbral ash. With ash, I'll fashion new wares. Is it not our sorry fate to sup on death?
Okay, she's done laughing.
Ashen One,
Yeah, bring more souls. So, yeah, this lady, if you bring her the ashes of dead people, she'll sell you new items. That's one way of getting items from people if you murder them. If you murder someone, that an NPC, they might drop their umbral ash. I'm pretty sure Andre just doesn't. You can kill Andre. You really shouldn't. Look at his short little legs. Here's Andre, by the way. You know who Andre is.
Well, a newcomer, I see. I am Andre. I serve at this shrine as a humble smith, forging weapons. You're in search of the Lords of Cinder, I trust. A toilsome journey, I'd wager. You'll require good arms. Let me smith you weapons. I am a smith, such is my purpose.
So, we can... I think I am going to steal my Estus allotment right now. So you can, like, change how many of what kind of Estus you want. Yeah. You also bring Andre your Estus shard flasks, so you can get more. He doesn't sell anything, though. So we could reinforce... Oh, we couldn't. This game uses the Bloodborne weapon upgrade material method, which is making upgrade materials easier to find, but making you require more of them. Yes, there'll be stuff with the Shrine Handmaiden, but to get that secret stuff, I'll have to not do obvious stuff, so it's not worth it. There's fog walls that form on the exits to Firelink Shrine. They last a really long time when you first load into the area. Nobody really knows why. Some of us think it's a loading screen, but it doesn't really make that much sense. Also, yes, you can upgrade armor. Armor is always fully upgraded again. Bloodborne Innovations. Seed of the Giant Tree has yet to fall. I think a new seed will spawn one at a time every time you get invaded. But we're up here for something important. You see, what would be better than lore than a sequence break? This is one of the few sequence breaks in the entire video game that doesn't require using glitches. I guess this is a kind of glitch. But you're not supposed to be able to get up here until you buy an expensive key from the Shrine Handmaiden. But But all you need to do is make that jump. It's not actually very hard. It might take me between 1 and 5 minutes, depending on how... That was almost it. There we go. You can just jump off that tree and get up here. And this is going to get us... you can make this jump in the dark side, which I will not talk about much until we get there. And there's absolutely nothing up here. Because you're not supposed to be able to get up here. It's entirely an exploit. But we can get some more stuff on coming up here. There's a lot of advantages to coming here early. Such as...
Me, Picklebee. Me, Bumperum.
So, Picklebee Pumperum is the least explicable of
Me, Picklebee. Me, Bumperum.
Yeah, so you trade with this crow. The rules to this one's trading make the least amount of sense of all of the crows.
Me, Picklebee.
And a lot of people don't know what the hell Pumperum Picklebee actually means. You have to know something about poetry if you want to know a little bit of help, and it doesn't actually help that much. You see, the old King of Dorchester had a little orchestra, and never did you hear such a ceremonial band. Picklebee, said the fife, Pumperum, said the drum, Toodle-too, said the flute, Deedle-reedle, said the fiddle. For the fiddles and the flutes for the finest in the land. I think what the rules are supposed to be is... Yeah, I know. I think you're supposed to guess what kind of noise the object you're trading would make. Whether it would make a Picklebee like a flute or a fife, or whether it would make a Pumperum like a drum. But not everything you trade them really follows that rule. Like our Hidden Blessing here. You get an emote for trading up your first Picklebee item. It's, yeah, so apparently a Hidden Blessing makes a Picklebee noise. And this, Firebomb, what kind of noise do you think it would make? Mm-hmm. It makes a Pumperum. So we have a few items you can trade right away. Mm-hmm. This makes a Pumperum noise. I guess Prism Stones actually do make a noise. But a bone? What kind of noise would a bone make? They make a Picklebee noise. For iron bracelets. And what kind of... You can trade weapons and armor, too. What do you think a large leather shield would make? This one actually kind of makes sense. I have no idea how you're supposed to logic out, or if you even could, all of the Picklebee Pumperum things. I don't even think it would make more sense in Japanese, because I think all of the voice acting lines of all the Souls games have all been in English. So it doesn't... Like, the game dialogue is written in English, so it doesn't make any sense. There's a secret passage ahead. Let's rate this message, because it's true. So yeah. This is the real prize of doing the exploit, is the covetous Silver Serpent Ring. This is going to inflate our soul level quite nicely. Depicts a snake that could have been, but never was a dragon. Snakes are creatures of avarice because they swallow prey larger than them. I always liked that explanation of why snakes were meant to be avarice. Yeah, the Estus Shard is also nice, but the covetous Silver Serpent Ring is just a nice walking around item. If one's shackles are cause for discontent, perhaps it's time for some old-fashioned greed. Flavor text is quite powerful in the game. I think with doing some correct jumps, you can get over there, but there's nothing over there. But there's more lore! Everywhere I look, it's lore! This is the one guy who does not... there's two guys. There's 5 thrones here. Only 3 of them don't show up. Only 3 of them show up in the cutscene. King Lothric does not. Last hope in his line. Both of them over here show up. As we have Watchers of the Abyss. Look at their throne. We can see the swords and stuff. If only I had a tough enemy. Then we have the biggest chair, which is for Yorm the Giant. That's all it says on the back, is Yorm the Giant. Then we have Aldrich of the Abyss, which has the most candles on it, I think, in this weird robe that's covered in blood. And then this guy! Somebody got a message on there. Ludleth the Exiled. This guy is a source of plot if I ever saw one, because he's still here!
All that unkindled, and a seeker of lords. I am Ludleth of Corland. Look not in bewilderment as I say. I linked the fire long ago, becoming the Lord of Cinder. If substantiation be thy want, set thine eyes upon my child course. This sad cadaver, no need to be coy. Have a closer look.
Look at me and my goofed up body.
Knowest thou of our purpose? 5 thrones will take 5 lords as kindling for the linking of the fire. The fast fading flame must be licked to preserve this world. A reenactment of the first linking of the fire. So it is, I became a lord of Cinder. I may be but small, but I will die a colossus.
I think Ludleth may be one of the kind of multiple references to the furtive pygmy from Dark Souls 1.
Now.
I'm sorry. We have a couple different... you can sort of draw analogs between some of these guys and the Lord Souls from Dark Souls 1. The Abyss Watchers are sort of like the 4 Kings, which are themselves kind of like... which are a part of Gwyn, who's the big one. Yorm the Giant kind of doesn't really fit into that, but we'll see this guy, Aldrich, and he's kind of neato. But no, Yorm the Giant found something called the Profaned Flame. So he's very much like the Chaos Witches. But then we have Ludleth, who's easily forgotten about and a small person. He's physically small. So there's some sort of analogs you could draw if you wanted to stretch things a little bit. But we're not done yet. How could we be done yet? Ooh, Yorm is kind of Seath. Seath will have a direct reference much later. I have to go probably lose my Ember, if we're going to be honest about what's going to happen up here. First things first is kill these guys. Because they will ambush me. There's some more loot to get out here, but none of it's really important. What I want to do is meet a friend. I'm surprised there is not a rude message before this corpse here. It's, this guy up here. I'm probably going to die fighting this fool. Yeah, damage not great. Okay, he has no poise, and I have reach. Ah, crap. And I really don't want him to fall off either, because I might not get his items if that happens. I just want to poke him. Come here, don't fall off, you big, He kinda has poise during stance. You see, I interrupted his stance there. Alright, I have the... How'd that do damage? You're not... I was blocking. Oh no, stairs. He never does the other trick you can do during stance. Which I made heavy use of when I first played with a katana. Yeah, that might... Does this game have dead angles in it? I'm not as into PvP in this game because this game has the worst PvP except for maybe Bloodborne. Ah, there you go. Taking trades, probably not advisable. Yep, there we go. Thanks for the resub, Blood Fashion. He gets some Estus back for beating him. And we've defeated him. Hooray. Let's look at his stuff. Uchi's a fine weapon. It's not quite as good in this game as it is in Dark Souls 1, I don't think. But maybe it is. I don't know. Hold is an interesting skill. It gives you access to two different discrete moves. Gives you access to a parry, and it also gives you access to a lunge. And bleed is very, very powerful. So weapons with innate bleed like this thing can take you a long way. We also have kind of the default clothing from well, it does not have Master's loincloth. Don't worry about it, Blood Fashion. Thank you for joining us. So the Master's attire is kind of a joke item. Men are fond of weaving tales to explain the raggedness of their garb. I don't get this joke that much. It looks like the hollow clothing from other games. Because when in this game's different. If you nudify yourself, you're actually wearing, like, undershirts and stuff. And, like, pants. Your underdrawers are like this, and not just stinky cloth you've strapped to your body. Ooh, we can wear iron bracelets. Our iron bracelets. But there is a few more items to get around here. I don't know how much lore we can glean from Firelink anymore. There's a dog here. Not two hitting dogs is a little bit miserable. You are an ember. There's an Abyss Watcher sword! And there was a dog guarding it. I wonder what that means. Why I fought the Blade Master? There's a couple different NPCs in the game that if you fight as invaders or otherwise, later can rejoin you as a summon. And Blade Master is one of them. You can summon Blade Master a couple different places after beating him. Wasn't there another place you could go? Was it just around here? Was this just where I was? This is just where I was. Oh, I know how to get there now. I have to go out and around. Man, I'm wasting a lot of time just doing this. But you know, we're having fun. We're exploring the lore of Dark Souls. Just having some lore. And you come over here, and there's just some... Is there another dog over here? No, just probably another ember. No, it's a bony. Yolks. Grasping a fine egg in a dark cave. It's yolks. And now we have to teleport. I think all of the games have teleports in them at one point or another. Dark Souls 2 is the least teleporty of the games. I think the only real teleports in Dark Souls 2 are the ones to get to the DLC. And you can, but don't have to, use the teleports in the Primal Bonfires to get back. This game teleports you here. You have to take this bonfire to get to Lothric Castle, which is the first level of the game. And at the end of Lothric Castle, we're going to get a throwback to something else. The game teleports you a few other times. And I should not forget that I picked up an Estus Flask shard.
What?
Reinforced Estus Flask.
Pretty be careful.
Actually, level up. Oh, I just mashed through some text. Sorry.
Well,
Can you say that again?
Ashen One. Produce the mark of Ash will to Lothric.
I think... Okay, we already heard that. Level me up.
Then touch the darkness within me. Take nourishment from these sovereignless souls.
What do we want? I think we want faith. Gotta have faith, faith, faith. We can get a lot of faith. Let's go 15. 12, 13. These are all levels that will do us good. Stamina is important.
Farewell,
It's true, you do have to teleport to the Lost Bastille. She does have some lore to say when we're leveling up.
Ashen
Reach out and touch the demon inside me indeed.
Then touch the dark hidden.
Let's turn the game up. So the world might be mended.
Farewell,
So the
Ashen.
world might be mended. Umbasa. High Wall of Lothric. Do I know the litany from Bloodborne, or from Demon Souls all the way? Soul of the lost, withdrawn from its vessel. Soul of the mind. Soul of the mind, key to life's ether. Soul of the lost, withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted, so the world might be mended. That's what it is. Yeah, Maiden in Black was just the best version of the Maiden in Black. The doll was also quite good. High Wall of Lothric. Don't really know how you get from Firelink Shrine to this. We have this. There's a basin that looks kind of like this later in the game. And there's a little coiled sword there. Just in this room with a big drain grate. Maybe there was a bonfire here one day. Don't know why there's this big dent in the floor, but some gargoyles. These aren't actually. I think these are grotesques, since they don't have water funnels in their mouth. The Emerald Herald is special because she lies every time she speaks to you. And here we are. High Wall of Lothric, an area of the game I have played more than all others. Let's get that off and equip our firebombs, because we might make use of them. Okay, so a lot of stuff is going to happen, because I'm not going to let it... Well, I'll let it happen. Fighting some boys. So yeah, let's kill a bunch of these guys. For no reason. Okay, here's why. The guys with lanterns. When they scream, some of the guys around freak out. But some of them just, some of them don't freak out. Some of them... Oh, this guy got aggressive. Ooh, I got a counter hit there. I ran out of stamina there. Ooh, Dent had something to do with signal fires, maybe. That's very cool. Yeah, everybody else started cowering and covering their head when the guy screamed. The passive ones did. Let's go up first. There's items to get up here. And a big fuck-off dragon to look at that's got smoke coming off of it. Here's another screamy guy. If you don't let him scream, the guys that would attack you don't get up right away. These guys. You can also hold down your charge attacks to make them do more damage. Get a lucky on what? The longsword? Walked right into that one. Could also have gotten a sacred chime. For some reason those guys drop chimes. Got some sweet knocks. We will be making use of those later. The charge attack had a spark to let you know. Well, the spark for the charge attack had a purpose in Bloodborne. It lets you know when your charge attack could trigger a riposte, whereas in this game, you just have to be behind them. Some gold pine resin. Let's learn about that. Rare pine resin that emits gold sparks. Chunks of it are even rarer. Some kind of fungal resin. That might be a reference to the fact that you got this from killing mushrooms in Dark Souls 1. We also picked up this. Strange head of an unknown origin carved from an arch tree. Thank you. Is this not the face of gratitude?
Thank you.
Hello. Up, give that up. My faith not exactly helping me kill dudes right now. Up, bit of a... I'm sorry. That an upgrade? Less poise, but better around. Plus we have a different looking hat now. Let's read it. Okay, this is mostly normal, except it is never unwise to wear a sturdy form of head protection against arrows and other somatic threats. How many of you have heard the word somatic outside of the phrase somatic component? And there's a guy out there with an axe. Outside of, like, Dungeons and Dragons. I'm pretty sure somatic just means movement. Movement of the body. Yes, somatic components. We're gonna run, because there's a thing here that we can get. Okay, that all happened very quickly. There's a summon sign in here. Come here, you. Ooh, psychosomatic is probably more common, you're right. There's a lot of items. Let's look at this summon sign. Who are you? Jamal! They're using a claymore. I will not summon you, Jamal. Because over here, we have an important item. The first goddamn treasure chest in the game is a goddamn mimic. Now, this is our second chest, but we used a exploit to get ours. This guy is very, very threatening. He has a couple moves that might just kill me in one hit. Deep battle axe. Can we use that? We can. So there's ways to tell if a chest is a mimic. The chain, if the chain is towards the front of the chest, it's a mimic. Mimics. Oh, we got a guy after us. Maybe let's equip Deep Battle Axe. There's not really a reason not to use Deep Battle Axe if you can wield it at the beginning of the game. It's quite powerful. It just, it's kind of like Fire Longsword. It does dark damage. It has no scaling. Easily wielded axe crafted for battle and inflicting standard damage. The seam thing, you probably can, but that's not a good way of determining if something is a mimic or not. Before I do anything stupid, let's open this door and go get a bonfire. Importantly, this guy will wake up. As will this guy. And we're going to fight this guy. Now, these guys are very threatening, but there is a way to beat them. And it's not backstabbing them. The way you beat these guys is very, very complicated. It's called try attacking. They have almost no poise. If you just keep attacking, you'll stun lock them. Ooh, we might not be able to use that. Nope, we can't. That's a very powerful shield. So yes, a lot of people will spend a lot of time dying to the Lothric Knights because they are very threatening and very dangerous and they do a lot of damage. But if you just try attacking, you'll have a much better time of it. So, I'm gonna go hit this bonfire up here, which, spoilers. Ooh. It's Captain! Look at that Habsburg jaw Cap has. We're not at a big risk of being invaded right now. There's not a big demand of low-level invasion in this game. Up. Do you see that? To the below my axe. There's a hole. Oh. There's a Titanite shard here. right under that message. That'd be a hole. Actually impossible to invade in this zone unless you have a summon with you. Well, that makes sense. Well, we just sit and wait for a second. Then the Lothric Knight will walk outside, and that means I can fight this guy here without them getting in the way. I think I do want to fight that Lothric Knight, though. Oh no, 2 of them is a problem. My stamina has been a problem. Man, I have almost no stamina. Let's use Heal Aid. Man, that sucks. It's really terrible. So I'm going to go probably suicide to get some items from where the dragon was. Ooh. Some trousers. They're worse than our trousers. That dragon is not going to stop screaming. Let's get him to breathe fire. There we go. And now we're no longer embered. Well, we got Claymore. Watching Kaz play with Claymore made me change my mind a bit about Claymore. When I first played the game, unpatched, I found Claymore and thought, man, an old friend. I'm going to play the game with Claymore. Claymore was very poor to me the first time I played the game, because that was before some grand poise updates. And Claymore has issues with range. It's not actually very long. Claymore's not much longer. It almost feels like the same length as Longsword. So if you get feel-bads a lot, we're like, why didn't that hit? There are some good greatsword weapons, but Claymore, maybe Claymore is one of them. Let's go get our Bloodstain. Should be fine here. Okay, run over here. We can heal. And then we'll have our treasure. Especially since somebody who died gave me an Estus charge. This dragon, you can shoot him with arrows. And if you do enough damage to him, I think he flies away. But it takes a very long time and is patently not worth it. One moment. A minor interruption, but it's fine. So yeah. This dragon you can't really get rid of. Got kind of a blood mustache. It's like we were drinking some blood. Come up here, breathe the fire, then you move here. And you walk right into the fucking fire. I want this guy's item. Some of the blood texturing on you is really gross looking in this game. There we go. I think we should probably return to the bonfire just to rest up again. Is your blood mustache still going? Yeah, you look mostly dirty in this game from the blood. Probably because everything you're killing is like old and gross. Yeah, if you had the blood from Bloodborne, it would definitely be blood. But this oftentimes just looks like douchey. I leave Lothric Knight. So I want this item. It's a firebomb. You don't actually want to go here yet, so we can just leave. Somebody's chasing me. You. Anybody else? Okay. You were there. Tell me. No 2-for-1s. That's rude. Ranged battle required ahead. These guys are kind of worshipping the dragon. You can't, Had to move my headset around a little bit. Oh, I wonder what could happen here. Certainly nothing bad will happen if I just, you know, go out here towards this item. I mean, there's an item here. I wonder what... Ooh, some fire bombs. Oh, no! Oh, crap. Run away. You throw fire at them for a moment, they'll freak out. I'm just gonna... These things are called the Pus of Man. They're never... I don't think they're ever named that in the game. But, I think they are manifestations of the Abyss, which is in itself a manifestation of humanity. So you just have these really old hollows who have probably been kicking it for a long, long time. And the Abyss literally comes out of them. So that's what happened to Yudex Gundyr. Was that he... Ooh, what's this? Got corrupted by the Abyss. Or similar. Raw gem. And it's worth noting that the things that come out of the Pus of Man looks a little bit like a dragon when a silver ring depicted of a snake that could have been, but never was a dragon. I think the covetous the covetous gold serpent ring, which we won't be seeing for a long time, references the fact that the snake has been used as a symbol for the undead. So there's some kind of thematic connection between the Abyss and dragons. So we have a split path here. Our goal is to get down there. And we could go down here, but I'm not going to. Is this guy going to climb up this ladder? Excellent. And in here, we're going to face a very awful enemy. A worse version of the knight we just faced. We're not going to fight him for a minute, though. We're going to come fight these guys instead. I've killed people in PvP playing ladder before. It was some of my funnest PvP moments, is fucking around with that big ladder. Classic corpse in a barrel trick. Undead Hunter Arm. We'll read that in a minute. I want to fight this guy first. This horrible man. Because this guy basically breaks the rule of just try attacking. There we go. Lothric Knight Longspear. If we continue on Spear's plans, that's a lot of stats to use that thing, though. Alright, I was about to read the Undead Hunter's Charm, because these are what used to be called Lloyd's Talismans. Long ago by Lloyd's clerics on their undead hunts. Although Allfather Lloyd is long forgotten by the Way of the White, his hunts have lived on. We'll learn more about Allfather Lloyd, I think. Something got damaged down there. We have here. We could fall down and get an item here after we get this. I think this is just green grass. Yeah, this item is worth getting. Is here. Chain going back? Not a mimic. We have the Astora Straight Sword, which we might want to use. Yeah. Has a faith requirement for God knows why. No magic damage in this game. Let's read it. Astora before its fall was a land replete with royal blood. It's just a kind of long sword. Looks pretty cool. Not a magic sword. I want to get some guys close to those barrels. Hey, X-Boy. Get close to this barrel. I'm just going to have to fight them. Oh no, don't harm me. Don't hurt me. So, straight swords are very good in this game. They've been poor in basically every other Souls game, but they decided to make them very good in this one. So if you want to play a Souls game where you can use straight sword and do rather well, Dark Souls 3 is a game for you. And This would be our first Estus shard if we had not jimmied our way up and gotten one. Ooh, a Selkie. Let's learn about Selkie. Actually, let's learn about large shards. You can see more of the legendary slab fragment. You can even see it on this one, on the Twinkler. Reinforces weapons seeped in strengths. I also found the raw gem. Yeah, this would forged the weapons of Lothric foot soldiers. So basically reduces the scaling, but raises the base damage. It was a joke reinforcement plan in Dark Souls, but rather good in Dark Souls 2 in this game. If you're very low stats, but have a high base damage item. We're not done here yet, though. And go back upstairs, because there's going to be some items to get. I think in Dark Souls, straight swords were poor. Like, they were useful for the first part of the game, but... we find a broadsword. Another sword to use. This one does not have a thrusting moveset. The Asura Straight Sword, still OP? Don't think so. It's good, but I think Longsword is better. No longer magic. Don't we have another item I could get? Is it down here? It is down here. Chomp. Find the Silver Eagle Straight Shield, which is often your first 100% black shield. This shield looks rather poor, but this shield has two interesting capabilities. For one, it has a very low strength requirement, so a lot of people can use it. But for two, this shield cannot parry. This shield has a parry disability, and this shield has weapon skill. So it does whatever your weapon skill is for the weapon you're using. For medium shields, I think weapon skill is actually more useful than parry. Parrying with a medium shield is quite difficult. You're better off using a small shield for that. So, like, when I two-handed my weapon, I do this with it, and if I use this, I'll do other attacks. I'm out of flower points, so I won't do the swoosh, but there's special moves you can use that use your blue bar with every weapon. This gives everybody something to do with their mana. But I have to two-hand the weapon to use it. Otherwise, if I press the parry button, I just parry with this shield. But if I use the Silver Eagle Kite Shield and I hold down the parry button, I do my weapon skill. And this is actually very useful. I think for medium shields, weapon skill is the preferred ability than parry. But Silver Eagle Kite Shield is just not very good. So we're going to keep using Kite Shield. We may switch back to Silver Eagle Kite Shield at some point, but it's often the first 100% physical block shield you can find. Let's go fight that guy. Although first, we'll want to fight this guy. Rapier. Hello, you. Come here, you fat thing. Shouldn't make fun of you for being fat, but boy, you're very large. You have a back? He has a back, everybody! Yeah, so that guy can be scary if you don't know you can backstab him. Pork face? You mean the porcine shield? I probably won't. The cost to get the porcine shield is not worth the joke. Good advice. You know what? I'll applaud that message. Look at the statues. These knights holding their heads. I wonder if that'll come up ever again. Rapier? You want to see the rapier skill? Rapiers, I think, have something similar to stance. Yeah, they just have stance. But theirs is different. You do this. And you do a backstep thrust, or you kind of do the Ricard rapier thing. I was being cryptic about it, aren't I? This guy. Oh no! Many weak enemies! What can I do about this? Probably more than that. To be quite honest. Oh, they die in exactly one hit. You're there. Hey, hey! We're filling out our swords. Now we just have a long sword. Inflicts reliable standard damage. This is one of the better weapons in the game. If you just level out your strength and dexterity roughly equally and use this thing. Oh, we have elevator. Yeah, the boys are done. Sauce them up. I'll also note something. We have died before. We do not look like beef jerky yet. There's some throwing knives. Can you spot the interesting thing about throwing knives on this page? I will take a drink while I let you decide if you have seen it. I have taken my drink, and I will say, thrown items benefit from your stats in this game. Yeah, this thing has, Come on, go back to over here. Here. Degree which the power of dexterity or strength boosts the damage of it. What else we got here? Estus Shard. In the old days, it was rare to see an Estus Flask fire from its owner, but the shard offers hope, however shattered. Picked up some green blossoms. They look much more like wilted lettuce in this game than the other games. Undead Legion of Farron. We've seen those guys in the opening cutscene. Hi, everyone. That guy made a weird noise dying. You there. We've unlocked a shortcut, and now we're back to basically the beginning of the area. I didn't go this way earlier. Let's kill some dogs. Let's go kill that archer. And then we'll take a look at some of the surroundings we have. There's the archers up here. No. I should probably heal. I'll wait until after this fight. If you do a heavy attack against a dog, it throws them back. There we go. It's like, look, there's these weird trees. they're growing out of people. I don't know if they were just seeds planted in people's corpses or if the corpses themselves grew into these weird trees. A lot of the visual design of this game is very much about things being overgrown. There's lots of weeds everywhere. And a lot of the visual elements of some of the enemies we're going to see are going to be like overgrown plants, like weeds that have spread and grown too long. They're kind of cordyceps, not quite as cordyceps as things in Bloodborne, but it's very much like something old and dead that's grown into something else. I think it's some kind of meta-narrative on the game itself. Dark Souls in general. Be wary of monstrosity indeed. Oh, crap. So, we're just gonna flop bombs at this fool. There we go. The first time you kill these things, they always drop an Ember and a Titanite shard, so there's a reason to kill them. Longbow. Not sure we can use that. Yep. Not the 14 dex required. Ooh, what's this say? Pointless? Could this be an illusion? It couldn't be, actually. There aren't that many illusory walls in this game. There's also this staircase here that taunts you about what might be up there, but you can't get past the rubble. So, we had picked up this. Key to a cell holding thieves and the like. No shortage of brash thieves in Lothric. And these particular thieves likely scaled the wall from Undead Settlement. The castle is rumored to devour men. We might see that come up. We got places to go. And here's something. This game does not gate warp at all. You get warped right away. And you can always get back to the Firelink Shrine on whatever page of the warp thing you're on. You just go down to the bottom and there it is. I think the symbols on the right of the little humanity shapes are number of players in that area. And the weird little shape on the left is the bonfire you're sitting at. You can sort of tell it's a humanoid shape laying down, like sitting down in front of the bonfire. Yeah, there's definitely so many messages that say try jumping off, illusory wall ahead. It's very much a part of the game. It's being lied to by messages. But I suddenly feel like coming back here. We're gonna fight these guys. Couple different thieves here. We never went down. This is a ladder here. This guy. Guys aren't very threatening. There will be some invisible paths in the game. These are exploding barrels. And it will kill you if you're standing by that stack of barrels. And just some more 39. Okay. Ooh, a treasure. I hope there's nothing immediately to the left that'll ambush me. Ah, yes. The Mailbreaker. Small sword made for... It's actually a dagger in this game, not a rapier. Or thrusting sword. This weapon actually has a use. Some use in this game. There's some infusion paths which give this weapon very high elemental scaling. Like, I think if you make this a Chaos Mailbreaker, it'll have SS scaling on Intelligence and Faith. And it has a high critical thing. See, it says 120, critical 125. The rest of these all say, Rapier says 130, but many of them just say 100. That means it will do more damage on backstabs and ripostes. It's just the base damage on the Mailbreaker is rather pitiful, and the scaling is usually not that good. And what's this? That's the only way, the only place to use the cell key, to my knowledge.
Ah. You're no jailer, are you? No, you're from far away. And judging by the bell, you must be some of that unkindled ash. Remarkable. If that's true, then I have a favor to ask. Below the high wall is a musty little town. Not the home of any lord, just a very old settlement of undead. An old woman, Loretta, lives there. Please, give her this ring. I'm not asking for charity. In fact, if you do this for me, I'll be sure to repay you in kind. I may be a petty thief, but I've more wits than most royalty. What do you say then? Huh?
Sure.
Very well. I humbly place my faith in you. I am Grey Rat of the Undead Settlement, and I promise to assist you. Give this ring to old Loretta at the base of the high wall. Do your part, and I'll do mine.
And he gives us a pretty poor ring and is on his way. Thank you for resubbing, Burned Head. By the way, everyone, half-price sub month. You've still got almost half the month to benefit from half-price subs. You like those Yoko cookies in the chat? You should subscribe. Yeah, this does what it does in all of the other games. Increases defense when HP is low. Goddess Kytha. And of course, tears are always more beautiful when near death. I think the RTSR and BTSR, to use jargon, of the first game, yeah, hashtag sellout, of the first game might have been referenced to Karim, and didn't make reference to any specific god, but now they're using the god from Dark Souls 2. So yeah, it's not even worth equipping. But let's do this. I want to get this, my tool belt. You have your quick bar, and then you have your tool belt, which is a useful thing. I always put my bones, my humanzos, and my multiplayer items. Did I forget to buy the summoned stone? I guess I did. But I also like to put my homeward bones on here. It also gives you the option if you want to go to the last bonfire reset or just the hub world. Give me your money. No way. Does everyone watching my stream love Black Knight 2000? Ah, thanks for the blood squirrel token. So now we have that was very weird. I wasn't the only one who saw that, right? Guys, I think my version of Dark Souls might be haunted.
'Tis good to see ye in good health. What needs smithing this day?
Let's talk to Andre.
Weapons and protection are sturdy enough by and large, but when overused, they'll eventually break. When their durability is low, repair becomes a necessity. Use a powder, or simply rest at a bonfire. But should chance impel them break, bring them me. I'll hammer them back into shape. They take no pleasure in breaking, I assure ye. So handle them with care.
Look at his left arm. Oh, that bend in his left arm when he's talking is so... Like this, his left arm looks okay, but watch.
There are two ways to smith weapons.
Looks like his shoulder's out of
Simple
place.
reinforcement is one, and infusion the other. Reinforcement is straightforward. It strengthens a weapon without altering its property. Infusion is a more advanced form of smithing that infuses an element. Reinforcement requires titanite, and infusion requires gems. Bring the stones, and I'll do the smithing. It's my purpose, after all. In battle, your weapons are your only friends. Forge them well, and they won't let you down.
Hurrah! I've seen a weapon at risk before. I've never had a weapon break before. As opposed to Dark Souls 2, where they break if you just look at them. Yeah, Andre remains the only Souls NPC who can move his mouth when he speaks. I think the Firekeeper might also, but by and large, most of them don't. Especially nobody with the player character model.
Another matter. Infusing weapons with gems requires a special kind of coal. My humble coals won't be any use infusing more unusual gems. I know, it's an awful shame, but it's all I have. Oh, please don't give me that look. Believe it or not, I'm quite thin-skinned. Oh, by the by, if you find any Estus shards, bring them here. They can be used to reinforce either of your Estus flasks. Without those flasks, you'd want for life or focus. And they'll always stay with you. Why not treat them well? Huh?
I think Andre might have the most to say of like any Dark Souls NPC ever.
Weapons and...
We've run him out of dialogue.
So
yeah, basically, you don't need embers in order to... for one, there's no embers at all. They renamed them coal because there's another item in this game called embers. Get the flask! So you can reinforce weapons up to whatever without any sort of special coal. The game is just very good about gating Titanite you have access to. What you use embers for, or coals, is to infuse things. Like we could infuse this Astora Straight Sword to be refined, raw, or fire. Refined decreases the base damage, but increases and levels out the strength and dex scaling. Refined is very powerful. And you have raw, which removes the scaling, but increases the base damage. And you have fire, which removes the base scaling and adds some fire damage. If you infuse a shield, you can actually infuse them into like raw and stuff, but I don't know why you would. But if you infuse it in an element, it'll be better at blocking the element you infuse it at. And we are going to reinforce E-Flask.
Prithee, be careful. I don't want to see my work squandered.
You're going to hear that a lot. We got this sort of tomb here. All this wide open workspace, and the only place Andre really works at is an anvil with no forge, And a workbench that he's left covered in tools and weapons. He's got some... Huh. If I'm not mistaken, that pair of pliers there actually looks like a bullet mold. That's what old bullet molds used to look like. It'd be sort of things you sandwiched together and poured lead into to form bullets of the correct caliber. And that kind of looks like an ash shovel for a fireplace. And then some hammers. And a vice. Like there's a long sword here. And it kind of looks like it... There's a vice there and a knife. Yeah, Andre makes... Well, the bullets in Bloodborne weren't even formed with a shot maker. There's just your freaking blood. Here's Greirat. Let's look at Greirat. Give him a little peepo. He's wearing the deserter outfit, except he's wearing a hat. That's one of my favorite hats in the game. And he's got some pots and urns and stuff. His whole get out sort of looks like Stockpile Thomas's from Demon Souls.
Oh, hello, you're back. And in one piece. Well, now it's time I do my part. Whatever trinket you need, speak up.
Shotmaker is a Metal Gear boss. He, like, shoots around angles, I think. All the Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 bosses are hard to remember, because most of the ones in Metal Gear 2 you just kill through using remote-controlled missiles. So, Greirat is the other major merchant of the game. The main ones are going to be Greirat and the Shrine Handmaiden. There's going to be some spell merchants around the way, but these guys are among the more important. And he sells a collection of weapons. Bastard sword, mace, spear, a crossbow, some shields, and the standard set. He'll get more later.
Goodbye. And stay safe. Oh, this place is a bore. What good is thievery if you've nowhere to go?
Does Bandit Knife have a bleed on it in this game? It ought. It oughta. It does. It's a good weapon. It's called a short sword.
Goodbye.
Quick Step is a useful weapon skill. Anyways, that's basically all it for Firelink right now. We gotta level up. Let's look at the Shrine Handmaid to see if her mouth moves when she speaks.
Welcome home, Ashen One.
Nope, totally doesn't.
Speak thine heart's desire. Very well, then.
Touch the darkness inside me. What are we gonna level up? Let's go up some faith. I've been having problems with stamina, so let's just go green bar.
Farewell, Ashen Maid.
But do you have any new
Welcome.
stuff to say?
Ashen One, to be
Nope.
Ashen.
Okay.
Farewell, Ashen One. May the flames guide thee.
So, like the doll, the abandoned doll from Bloodborne, she will react if you do gestures to her. Didn't react to that one. What else do we got? Ooh, we can holler at her.
Hey!
She thinks that's funny. It's also one of the few ways for your character in a Souls game to make a sound.
Hey!
What else do we got? And that's the 3 reactions she kind of has. She'll bow and sort of giggle and then sort of look weird. We actually want to go to the High Wall of Lothric now. Ooh, Atonement. Ooh, if you use Sit, she has a twirl. We'll find that out later. As we've opened up that shortcut now, all you really need to go is here. I think my version of Dark Souls might be sick. Not later for that guy. And because it's a Souls game, we're going to send the elevator up and start running past some enemies. These guys won't follow me. Oop, there's an item here. I want to get that. I want to get item. There's a worthless item up here, but I should get it. It's just a ring of sacrifice. We'll read it in a minute. I actually know what it is. It's because I'm encoding on the stream at the same time I'm running it. My processor's running a lot. So it's just not having time to load anything in. It would probably be better. It's probably because I've been streaming for 2 hours now. If I were to take a break, it would be a little better. But I have a end point in mind. Actually, I should use throwing knives for this. Hey! Try attacking. That guy's just gonna watch. Hey! If I got one of their swords, I wouldn't be upset. But the embers are also useful. To show off a thing, yeah, you can summon Swordmaster here. Lucerne. Lucerne is a fine weapon. Swordmaster used to be very, very important. And the reason Swordmaster is important is because at some point in time, there'll be another boss battle in this area. But you can get to it now if you do a specific action. And the boss battle is not meant to be fought until much, much later. So it's a way for you to sort of break sequence in the game naturally. But back in the day, before this got patched out, if you brought Swordmaster to that fight, for some reason, he wouldn't have a hitbox. So the boss could not hurt him. And Swordmaster would very, very slowly kill the hard boss for you. Because he's using Chaos Blade, which means he takes damage whenever he hits something. And it would take almost all 3 of his Estus charges, healing him from the damage he was doing to himself to kill the boss, but it worked. And it was very fun, and would let you access an endgame area very early, and get some cool treasure early, but it doesn't work anymore.
Ah, the wait has been long, unkindled one. I am Emma, High Priestess of Lothric Castle. Allow me to speak frankly. You will not find the Lords of Cinder here. They have left, gone, to their journey homes, converging at the base of this castle. Head to the bottom of the high wall, forge on through the great gate, and raise this banner
to proceed. This farewell gift is for you. It is the insignia of an old covenant. If you fear trespassers, dark spirits drawn by the embers, then etch this upon your heart, and the old Concord will beckon noble blue sentinels to hunt these foul spirits. Unkindled one, go through the great gate and raise this banner to proceed. But beware, the dog keeps a close eye on things. The vile watchdog of the Boreal Valley. Unkindled one, go but the...
Okay. So this is going to be a reference to Dark Souls 1 soon. And the worst part of this map, these goddamn stairs you cannot go up to. There's an actual wall and an invisible one, keeping you from using these stairs. So yeah, Swordmaster used to be important. And over here we have something from Demon Souls. We have this guy. We're probably going to die fighting him. Especially if that happens. As try attacking does not quite work on this guy. Oh, this went much better than expected. Yeah, in Demon Souls, he always drops a refined gem the first time you kill him. In Demon Souls, there were blue and red-eyed enemies that were harder versions of normal enemies. And we have that right here. Yeah, these guys have that shield bash attack, which is supposed to keep you from backstabbing them very easily. And they will do it forever. And it comes out very quickly. So you shouldn't circle to the right against them. And it's harder to circle to the left against them because that's where their weapon is coming from on your side. So that's why the thing to do is just try attacking. And we have another spear. How worthless. So we can... Did I forget to buy the... I did again. We could get summoned for this. So yeah, if I wanted to, I could summon Swordmaster here. But you don't get anything for it. You just get help. We could dual spears. This game doesn't have power stancing the quite same way Dark Souls 2 does, which is kind of a shame. Power stancing was very cool. But there are weapons you can dual wield in this game. And it feels like an appropriate sacrifice. Power stancing was very poorly explained in Dark Souls 2. I don't think the game ever told you the exact rules for doing it. Oh, I'm angry about this. He's all gooshy. Lots of gooshiness in this game. He's hollering, and there's the fog wall. It's kind of hard to see yourself when you're fighting this guy. So It's got a lot of attacks you need to roll through. You kind of want to stay on his ass. This is still the first stage of the fight. I'd probably be doing more damage if I was using the deep battle axe. If I were to get hit, we'd probably see that there'd be a new mechanic. He's about to go crazy. Okay. Up. Dang it. I almost perfected Vort. Then I got hit by that leg. Ah, that's a shame. Not a perfect Vort. Area of Fire destroyed. Yes, I have a lot of experience fighting Vort. I would come back here and get summoned a lot. He feels like an appropriate first boss. Udex Gunder is way harder. Let's learn about Boreal Valley Vort. One of the twisted souls steeped in strength. Vort served as an outrider knight, never far from the fleeting dancer. That will not come up for a very long time. We aren't actually going to be able to learn about Vort much more for now. We will be able to learn about him later, though. But basically what he is he is something called an Outrider Knight, which is a special class of knights that serve Aldrich of the Deep, who is from the Boreal Valley, which we'll get to later. And basically the Outrider Knights have special powers. They almost all have powers related to frost. One of them, I think, doesn't really, but has very much frost visual elements to them. But it gets referenced multiple times that the ultimate fate of all Outrider Knights is to turn into horrible monsters. Something about the way Aldrich transforms them, turns them into beasts, which is very Bloodborne, but not visually Bloodborne at all. But that's stuff about Outrider Knights. And that's what Vort was. That's why he has the weird anatomy and walks like a dog, is because all of the Outrider Knights will eventually go on all fours. We'll see some more of them throughout the game. And because we beat a boss, we got a bonfire. Not every boss bonfire is going to be useful. Several of them aren't. And this door is also hairy. They've got, like, bushes going through them. And the door looks like somebody tried to beat it open from the inside. Wonder if that was Vort doing that. Gorgeous view ahead. Peer over the cliff and hold up the banner. Anytime you see this bell, I'm pretty sure that means it's a developer message. The camera kind of pans out. Try jumping. Lots of bloodstains here. People... Oh, didn't mean to do that. Wanted to read the bloodstain. But here's what you do. This is very Dark Souls 1. If the cutscene will load. And here we are, back here, and there's immediately a new bonfire. Yep, so this is technically a teleport, although you can both see where you are and where you're going to teleport to, and when you get to where you teleport to, you can see where you teleported from. So, this is not that bad of a teleport. Although we're going to quickly see something that I should have pointed out before Vort, because there was a visual element that was present there that I should have pointed out, but I'll be able to point out here. I wonder how we're going to get past that gate. Hope none of these enemies attack me. Oh, the gate's opening. And there are dogs. Come here, damn dog. Come here. There we go. Oh, and they closed the gate again. There's a guy over there. There's a lever on the outside where you can do it. Who let the dogs out? Well, who? Man, how many people remember when the Baja Boys were alive? Alluring skull. Prepared by the Evangelists of the Cathedral of the Deep. Not effective on all foes. It's these guys. They're dead. We saw them in the opening cutscene, traveling across the desert, and many of them were collapsing. There's one over here that looks a little bit different.
Please, grant me death. Undo my shackles. Oh, then it's true. A champion of Ash as I live and breathe. To be in your presence is a great honor. I am Yoel of Londor, a pilgrim, as you can see, only somehow I failed to die as was ordained. Well, perhaps my calling lies elsewhere. Say, champion of Ash, how does the idea of taking me into your service strike you? I was once a sorcerer. Surely I can be of use.
I really enjoyed this guy's line deliveries.
Oh, I am honored, truly. I should be dead, yet you have granted me purpose anew. I, Yoel of Londor, do solemnly swear myself to you.
Vision of ally. You can see them all. A bunch of them got here and then gave up because a dragon had destroyed the bridge and they couldn't get all the way across. So they just ended up here on their journey. You can get some homeward bones here, in case you want to go straight home. I don't want to go straight home yet. I'm going to delve a little deeper, and then we're going to call it a stream, I think. I'm going to open this lever. Yeah, there's aesthetic reasons not to make use of a certain service. We'll be seeing it very soon. This right here is my favorite bonfire for getting myself killed on, because it's a bonfire that immediately spawns next to a bottomless cliff. Can't see the arrows he's firing, but Awful lot of crows. Ooh, a summon sign. Scripted to die. It's a person doing a cosplay of a character we'll meet later. That's very cute. It's never... There's a few NPCs you can rescue or recruit through the game, and they all teleport away like that. Including the guy... Ooh, nice hat. Including a guy who was in jail. I don't know if you just give them a place to go to, or you give them a homeward bone only they can use. Dissection and attire for the dissection and burial of undead. Nice hat. The hat of choice for the Arby's watcher. And the small wither shield is important because this is a very low stat requirement shield that has a special property. It's a parrying shield. You see this in PvP sometimes. Let me just go here. And there's these guys. The Undead Thralls. Hope we get one of their hats soon. Ooh, Charcoal Pine Bundle. Those are an interesting item. Ah, we'll get that later. Just some repair powder. Now, there's never really any excuse given. It doesn't bother me that much. Also, yeah, we beat a boss, so we got our Ember back. That orange thing that just flew into my body was me getting a Estus charge back. Randomly, enemies will give you Estus shards. Estus flask charges back when they die. Got a lot of mud inside of them. Some enemies, like scripted invaders, will almost always drop them. And I think... This smells like lore. Loretta? We'll take a look at that later. We have a bit of a mess to clean up around here. I wonder what will happen when I plunder. Good death gurgle. Only 2 left. Don't fuck it up. One of the few enemies in these games that talk to you. Poor child, come to me, indeed. No, don't be rude. Don't be mean. Don't be mean. Oh no! No, I'm dead. How am I... How am I alive? How am I alive? I can't believe it. I can't believe, A, that she lunged so far to get me, and B, that I freaking lived through it. I was mashing on the shoulder buttons. Now she gave me an Estus flash shard. Or charge. Not shard, but charge. Here's a shard. Mashing the shoulder buttons worked in Dark Souls 1, and I've done it in every game since, and it might help? I don't know. And there's a worthless item that's too difficult to get. This item is inordinately difficult to get for how stupid it is. It's just... this will work. It's just I don't have the stat requirements to use it. Arrows... I have my arrows equipped. It's just some more throwing knives. Anyways... just fighting some boys. We'll read some items when we get back to Firelink, but for now I want to unlock some bonfires. We've not long left for tonight. And I want to eke out some progress if available. Got some thrall boys. Some of them have axes, some of them have picks, but they're the same. Give me lots of charges back. That spoiled it. You roll into the undead settlement workers, it stumbles them. These are almost the only enemies in the game that have that behavior. Kinda wish more had them. Anyways, these guys... they're very frightening, but not very threatening. That one's one, too. You can kind of tell. It's a soul item. The lighting on them looks a little bit different. A lot of doors that do not open from both sides in this game actually have bolts on them. Like on that door, I opened the bolt so I could open it up. It's very cute. And down here we have two of the most important items in the game. One of them, on this weird torture table thing, is the Warriors of Sunlight. You know, if I want to be human, I should probably equip the Coward Covenant. If I get invaded, it will summon helpers from the Blue Sentinels. Being invaded is not fun. Invading is not fun. PvP in this game is kind of tilted. These are the Warriors of Sunlight. And the other important item, praise the soup. Drink Estus soup. It's just such a weird little power up. See, look, open the bolt up. It just works as one shot of Estus. And there's just a couple little places in the game where you can get Estus soup at. If you roll here, get a Soul of an Unknown Traveler. You go in here, there's nothing. I can run away from... there's some ranged attack happening out there. A little bit of Heelys. Blue Covenant items in this game... ooh, whip. Blue Covenant items in this game are much easier to get in Dark Souls 1 at least. Which I'm going to say was impossible to get. You couldn't actually get them. So the ranged attack that being thrown at me tracks very heavily. I want to come over here. Back off away from the wall. Okay. We're going to see if I can get this little what's name. Because, yeah, Holy Knight Hodrick is going to invade. Okay, and now it's very important that I hit this bonfire. I can set it up even if I can't use it. Okay. And now Holy Knight Hodrick is going to be making his merry way over here. I can see him. I saw a flash of purple, I think. So they're introducing a new kind of NPC invader. No. Don't want the big guy on me. I will definitely die if I have both these enemies on me. Here he comes. This idiot. Come along, Hodrick. So this guy has a superpower, and it's called... He's the best parrier in the world. And he can heal. I have to be careful because he can just decide to, yeah. Okay. Ah, dang it. So he's got power within on. He's out of Estus. If he has his shield, like if he's not two-handing his weapon, he can and will just parry your ass. Okay. He was trying to cast warmth there. And he's dead. Who's this? Pelennor W. Strike. Don't think I'll summon them. Let's go back to Firelink and call it a stream. Yeah, so NPC Phantoms have infinite focus points. They can just cast spells forever. Did the W stand for white? And let's take a look. Let's have a lore dump. Let's read some items. First item we got is Kukri. Unique weapon originally used among the swordsmen of Karthus, but now popular among bandits and thieves. The Karthus is some kind of desert/corpse area. We'll learn more about Karthus later, TM. We got the Charcoal Pine Bundle. Quickly applies right hand to weapon. This works a lot like Pine Resin, where it adds elemental damage to your weapon, except the act of applying it is very quick. You take almost no time at all to apply it. The use of this is minimal. I've never had much of a use for Pine Bundles in the game, but they're interesting, and I'm glad that they exist. I'll try to make use of them at some point. But usually just resins are better, because resins last for about a minute, and these last for like 20 seconds. Yeah, Loretta's Bone. Several horse bored into it. I believe you can trade this as a pickle pea. An item with the crows. I'm not going to because an entire NPC quest line depends on me giving this bone to somebody. What else we get? A vertebra shackle. Collected by the members of the Covenant of Mound Makers. Only one such bone is found in the vertebra. Shackles of the God. The motivations of the Mound Makers don't make a whole lot of sense, but the fact that they're called Mad Phantoms kind of illuminates that. The Mad Phantoms are a new covenant in this game for co-op and PvP play. Mostly PvP. If you summon a friendly Mad Phantom, they can still fight and kill you, but they can also fight and kill enemies, and fight and kill invaders. So they sort of serve as a wild card in invasions. If one invades you, they can't help you, but one of their main goals usually isn't to kill the host, but to fight and kill other summons and invaders. Invading as a Mound Maker gives higher priority to worlds that already have summons and invaders in them. Which in practice means that invading as a Mound Maker means you're going to get 2v1'd. Like you're going to die because there's going to be 3 people fighting you. It's a fun concept. It just doesn't work out that well in practice. You picked up a sharp gem. Forged on unique curved gem swords of Karthus. Makes dexterity scaling higher. The small Lothric banner. The path to the undead... When the high wall appeared, the path to the undead settlement was blocked. It had no way of returning. We did get heal aid. We never read this earlier. A show of tolerance from the way of the white, imparted as charity to those of little faith. We had also picked up Lucerne. Actually, we never read Lothric Knight Spear either, did we? Designed for long-range thrusting. Lothric Spear Knights are known for their steadfastness. Boasts the poise of its wielder. It has charge as an ability. I think Spear also. Nope, Spell Splitter. Charge works a little differently. Lucerne. An interesting weapon. I like Lucerne quite a bit. Halberds have been a soft spot of mine forever. And Whip. Never intended to use in combat. The shackles of bondage lie deep in the hearts of mankind, indeed, Whip. The Lothric Knights contended with dragons, and have suitably high lightning absorptions befitting of a dragon slayer's arm. This doesn't make any sense. The Lothric Knight shield is very good at blocking lightning damage, even though dragons breathe fire, and you use lightning damage to kill dragons. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I guess the Lothric Knights supposedly rode on drakes, and drakes do lightning damage, maybe, if they're the same drakes as from Dark Souls, but that's never truly brought up a lot. Just looking for any last bit of lore. Here we go. Sacrificial rite of Velka, the goddess of sin. 'Tis only natural to sin. The sacrifice is only worth as much as it spares. A pale blue sheepskin parchment. This is stuff added in Dark Souls 2. And this is actually pretty lore light. Not even a reference to Solaire anywhere. One place you can... equipping covenants in this game is just like equipping them in Bloodborne. You have just a slot for equipping them. Rings kind of work Bloodborne too. You have 4 slots. Although in Bloodborne you basically had 3 rune slots and then a Covenant rune slot. But Covenant runes actually did something. So that was a little different. And I think that's all of the lore I can squeeze out for now. We'll learn more about the Mound Makers later. We can level up. We can see what you have to sell. Just heal aid. Okay.
Ashen one.
We have a bit of lore over here. Yeah, I guess, yeah, the Ring of Sacrifice does the Ring of Sacrifice thing. If you're wearing it and you die, you keep your souls. Yeah, they have a use, but they're not that useful. We have Mr. Grey Rat.
Oh, hello, you're back. And in one piece. Well...
Let's purchase some item. No spells yet. Okay. Let's give Loretta's bone.
Heavens, she was already dead. Thank you. I'm not surprised, though. Almost a relief, really. You can keep the ring as, well, a little trinket of thanks, I suppose. You can keep the...
And then...
Goodbye. And stay safe. Oh, this place is a bore.
There's a few more parts of the ritual we must perform for Grey Rat, though, because we have embarked on our first NPC quest. Although... someone is missing from this zone. I wonder where he could be. Perhaps... I wonder. The dog isn't here. And Hawkwood is standing in front of the grave with the Abyss Watcher's sword on it.
The poor wretched souls. Be they lord or legend, the curse shows no mercy. What a sham. The poor, be they lord or legend, what a sham.
We have some extra lore out here. We're getting some hints about Hawkwood's past. And finding out why he might be a little, almost fell to my death there. A little, not excited about the prospect of killing the Lords of Cinder. But wait, there's more lore! It's over here. We have this boy. Let's peep this boy. Why, it's Marvelous Chester, looks like. Will this break my scope?
Hey!
Ah, holler at that boy, why don't we?
Unkindled, are we? And fast on the trail of the Lords absconded? Then these red eyes are for you. Use them to pillage embers and briefly heighten your strength for your duty. What else are unkindled ashes good for? Pillage embers for briefly heightened strength. What else are unkindled?
So, we'll be coming back to this guy later. We can also clip into his body. An old favorite technique. Look at his ass a little bit. Kind of a flat ass. I'm not happy about your flat ass. I'm pleased how angry my lady looks. Let's see if Ludleth has more to say. Squeeze some more lore out.
Fret not, fret not. My feet are here firmly planted. For I am a lord, and this is my throne. Listen, this might pique thine interest. Before I was a lord of Cinder, I was a student of transposition. the process of extracting and coalescing the essence of a soul. A forbidden art that once left a foul stain upon Corlon's honor. 'Tis an art that grants powers once thought unattainable. Most transposing kilns were lost with Corland, but this place is a crossing for all manner of cursed objects. If thou happenest upon a transposing kiln, bring it to me. Quick. Listen.
He's going to say the same thing. Yep. Gonna learn about transposing kiln, you say? I refuse to believe it. One important thing is you can always, you can't teleport to the bonfire you're at, but because you can teleport to Firelink Shrine from any page, you can actually teleport from Firelink Shrine to Firelink Shrine. This serves a few purposes that are not that important, but we'll be seeing it here. Saw that Firekeeper pop in. Poor Grey Rat.
Heavens, she was already dead. Heavens.
Something weird happened there. So yeah, he doesn't respond in this situation because his grandma was dead or something. But man, we've not been having the fog wall problem at all. But wait, there's lore over here.
Oh, our champion of Ash, welcome home. This pilgrim, with a debt in death, hardly deserves to behold this divine flame. And I never would have, had you not taken me into your service. I thank you dearly for this, and assure you of my leal service.
Yeah, this game likes to pull out the old dictionary and pull out some words you never heard before. My leal service. So you can buy sorceries from this guy. That's all he sells. But
as I have said, I was once a sorcerer. Alas, the magic of Londor is a far cry from the wonders of Vinheim. But I can teach you what I know. Perhaps, more importantly, I believe that I can help tease out your true strength. We pilgrims of Londor are keenly aware that those branded by the dark sign possess something quite special. As I have said, but I can't. I believe we pilgrims of Londor are keenly aware that those branded by the dark sign.
Where's it when he says dark sign really well? He has some good line deliveries. So yeah, we're gonna be doing the draw out's true strength thing, which is more useful on New Game Plus, but by doing it we unlock the maximum amount of lore. Yeah, this guy is hunched over, but still very tall.
Then shall we begin? Bearer of the dark sign, let your true strength shine.
A poet and he didn't even know it. So, we get one free level. It's actually more efficient to do this later. Let's go level up at the bonfire, at the Firekeeper, and then level up for free. As we pilgrims of Londor are keenly aware, bearers of the dark sign, execute order dark sign.
Speak thine heart's desire.
It's leveling up. Want those lower levels. Actually, Another attunement slot. Leveling up attunement gives you more flower points.
Farewell, Ashen One.
But it also gives you attunement slots on which to equip spells to. And we come over here. Actually. Yeah. Game? The game crash? Did the game crash? I think the game crashed. Well, yep, Dark Souls 3 has stopped working. Hooray! Well, I've been streaming for 3 hours and given my processor a workout with this encoding. So, thank you for joining me tonight, everyone. I was about where I wanted to call it a night anyways. So, yeah, we can't have lost much can't have lost much progress. But I was going to call it a night after getting that level anyways, which means we're going to start next stream, excitingly, getting our free level, and we'll be learning more about lore. Maybe next time I'll have some guests on, maybe. I might just hop in Jens' Discord and just let whoever wants to pop in and talk and holler about lore, holler in when they want to. But that's going to be it for now. If you'd like to stream, I've gotten some followers. I saw the follower pop-up happen quite a bit. I wonder how many of those were actually watching. And special thanks to Burnted and Blood Fashion for resubbing. If you like the stream, you should consider subbing too. We still got a half sub price this month on Twitch. I think it's like $2.50 and you get to use the Yoko emote. Numby Yoko. And if you don't like that, there's also the Patreon stuff. Just made a new Patreon post today. And I'm going to be mailing out those curses, I think, next week. So if you are on the curse tier of the Patreon, you'll be getting your curses soon. Anyways, that's it for now. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy Dracula Burger, and good night.